Hey everyone, Blitzball Champ is back here with a brand new video here on the U to the Tube. There's something I wanted to talk about and kind of really give my honest, real, true, honest thoughts on it. It has to do with Virtua Fighter and it has to do with Parsec. Now, I'll let you know right now in the first place, I have not used Parsec. I have not used it. What information that I know about it was shared with me by other people that have played VF on Parsec, giving me like the deets and stuff like that. I've watched, some streams where people are playing VF on Parsec, mainly Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown to be specific. Anyway, I just wanted to, from what I've learned, I just really want to give my honest thoughts and opinions about this as I scratch my back. What was shared with me, what I learned is pretty much how Parsec works. Somebody hosts their PC, I guess shares their PC, and others can join the server that's hosted by their PC, pretty much join what they have on their PC and play games that the host puts up from hosting their PC on Parsec. It could be arcade games. And one of the main things, I guess it can be Steam games as well. But when I heard about what folks are doing with Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, how they're making it playable on Parsec, is pretty much via emulator. So the host emulates Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown and then hosts from their computer using Parsec, enables the host, and other players can join that host and play. Now, I see the advantage with this. A lot of people, especially a lot of gamers, have PCs. It's very common. PC, very good. So I can imagine that it attracts, folks that probably wanted to play Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, but don't have a 360 or an Xbox One or a PlayStation 3 to play. And a lot of them, hope for a PC release or like Steam or something like that. But with this Parsec, they're able to play with Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown via emulation. Now, while that does increase player count, which that's great, that's fine. That's a win for the VF community. But you gotta really ask this question. I know a lot of people, love VF, want a VF6, want a new VF, and there's a lot of hype behind the Virtua Fighter Cross Esports announcement, which, hope to get more details and get some specifics run down for that. But running it via emulation, I mean, I get it. And with the love of VF that a lot of the fans, the VFers have, doing this Parsec thing, is it really supporting VF? Like, me personally, what's stopping folks from getting it on 360, Xbox One, PS3? And the reason why I say that is, let me use my example. Let me use myself as an example. My whole thoughts on the whole emulation thing. I've never I've never really used it myself on my PC. The closest that I've ever used an emulator was a friend had burned pretty much ROMs and ISOs of video games onto a disc, like a CD-ROM or a DVD, and you put the disc into the drive. You can load up those ROMs to play those games. That's pretty much the closest that I've ever really had to tried out any sort of emulator. But at the end of the day, I have a PlayStation 2. I play via for Evo, which is my bread and butter favorite Virtua Fighter of the series. I have an Xbox 360 and an Xbox One and can play Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. I have a PS3 and I can play Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. Which I double dipped on release day anyway. You know, and those were purchases. You know what I mean? Those were purchases. I remember growing up when I learned about how certain games that I really wanted to get a chance to play. For example, Virtua Fighter 4 Final Tune. Problem is, didn't come out in America. Wanted really bad to import it, and honestly, if it would have costed more to import it, I still would have done it. Especially if I had the converter for it. Because, for a lot of these older consoles, they had converters that you could use to play import games. Of course, you still had to buy the import game, but I knew people that did that. I even did that myself. Done that a few times. That was how I got to play um, Dragon Ball Z Legends on the Saturn. And had a converter. You know, I didn't. Oh, and Fire Pro Wrestling D on the Dreamcast import. I know that it wasn't always easy, but they usually had converters for some of these consoles where you could play import games. And outside of the internet, me being here in North Carolina, there were only a few stores that sold import games. One was Next Level, which they had a few. Gamer's Edge, they had a good amount. And Buy Right Video Games, which they had a good bunch, but they were a rip-off store. But they were available, and they had the converters and the consoles to play them. That would usually be what I would do if there was a particular game that I learned that wasn't coming out in the US, it was only in Japan. If I wanted it bad enough, I would import it. I would buy the import and the converter for it. And the thing with games on emulation, for like these different emulators you can get on PC and stuff like that, the stability. You know, I hear about, because I know there's a few people talking about being able to play VF4 Evo on PC and Final Tune. Um, I think using like Naomi or some sort of converter. And the thing is, I've heard that, you know, it's buggy and it's not always stable. Like I think one of the stages like is like super buggy, and it's like, you know, that's some of the drawbacks that are present from doing like the different console emulators and stuff like that on PC. You know what I mean? It just really makes me wonder, like, how many out there really fully support VF to the point where you'll purchase the game. You know? Say we do get this VF6, and what if it ends up being console exclusive? Say Xbox Series X exclusive. You know, how many of the VFers out there would really be willing to go all in and actually support and buy the game and the console to play? Or who would take shortcuts to emulate it? I'm not judging, just giving my honest opinion, how I feel, but just something to think about. Something to think about. You know, I know a lot of people wanted VF to come out on Steam on PC, but because it's not happening, or won't ever happen, or it's just not available now, it's the next best thing, Parsec. And it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't. You know, but I digress. I digress. You know, a lot of a lot of folks, want to, tell me, give Parsec a try. Give Parsec a try. I mean, number one, it already seems difficult, like any other sort of emulation, to set up on your PC. You know, you already got a lot of folks out there that just pirate games anyway. And secondly, it's like, why go through all that when I have it on PS3, 360, Xbox One? You know what I mean? Like, like I said, I see the advantage and the disadvantage of Parsec when it comes to VF. And this is, and don't get me wrong, this is specifically VF that I'm talking about, because that's the big thing going around now is Parsec. So with VF. So that's the only reason why I'm even mentioning this. But a lot of people, were wondering, were suggesting, give Parsec a shot. Give Parsec a shot. You want to play Final Tune? You got Parsec. You want to do VF4 Evo? You got Parsec. But it's like no, like it's like that's what I have to do. Like seriously, I just I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. You know, like I said, kudos to those that are able to play the game and actually experience and end up liking the game. That's cool and all, but I feel like for those newbies that got on Parsec and played and actually like VF5 Final Showdown, you really want to play more and really get into it and really enjoy it, just buy a copy. please buy a copy. At least do that. Truly, truly love VF, buy the game. Buy the game. And like I said, I'm not saying that tons and tons of the community don't already own the game on a console. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's a big fear that I have, with this whole Parsec, especially if no VF6 ever comes out or no new VF collection or whatnot comes out in the immediate future or the long future. That's all I'm saying. Like, it would just really look bad. It would just really look bad. So, yeah. So, if folks are wondering if I'm on the Parsec train, especially with VF, I can't honestly say that I am. I really can't. I can't say that I am. And like I said, I know I haven't tried it. I haven't. I haven't tried it. But what's the point if I have it on consoles already? You know what I mean? I just don't see the point. Just don't see the point. For me, I don't see the point. So let me know what y'all's thoughts are. How do y'all feel about Virtua Fighter on Parsec? Are you for it? You like it? Hate it? Are you against it? What do y'all think? Please share. Like, comment, subscribe. Click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. And thank y'all so much for watching and for all of your support. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram signing off. Everybody have a blessed day, and I will see y'all soon. Peace.